Okay, so let me start from the beginning. My name is Cornelius Quiring, and when I was 3 years old, this big old piece of farm equipment fell on top of me, and this bar landed right here, which ended up pinching some nerves in my spine. And because those nerves were stretched, there's several muscle groups on the right side of my body that never developed as I grew up. And so today, I've started making clothes that are uniquely fit for me. So the right sleeve, for example, is 1.5 inches thinner, and then I adjust the leg as well. And so as a result, my clothes uniquely fit me. I found that when I was wearing clothes bought in the store, on the right side specifically, it would always sag and hang, and there'd be a lot of loose folds and things. And I realized that I could make clothes to fit who I am, and even though there's a discrepancy between the two, if both sides fit evenly, it actually looks symmetrical and correct. And most people don't ever even realize that there is a difference between the two sides until I mention it. So it's helped to embrace the body that I have. I've always been sharing things online since I was young and experimented with the various formats. I started by making websites. I had this go-kart that I built and I shared the process on it. And then from there I tried some other different sites, and as social media came around, it just became a natural fit to share on there as well. I personally enjoy entertaining, and because video has become more popular, it just felt like more of a natural fit. And so as a result, that's how I create this kind of content. So I never really felt like I wanted that. I never really felt like I wanted my injury to define me and be the thing that leads the thing that people know about me. I want it to be something that people sort of discover over time. For me, what is most important is if people are interested in what I put out there and they connect with who I am as a person, they then begin to discover that there's a backstory there, and that only creates a deeper connection and makes them more interested in who I am. I find that the accident that I had is something that happened to me, but it doesn't define me. So it's a part of my story. I intertwine it with the content that I put out there, but it's not the key thing, because as a person, it also isn't the key thing that defines me in my day-to-day. I have to live with it. I operate with it. It's normal to me because it's just been with me my whole life. So it's a bit of both. I want to share it with people, but I also don't want it to define me. I think as people, we're very complex and have many things going on, and the various things that happen to us are small slices that make up the whole story. I've really enjoyed sharing the content on social media. I've always enjoyed entertaining. I was doing plays when I was a young kid, and so the desire to perform has always been there. And with the advent of social media, it's just become a natural fit because I can do it from home with a camera. With these tools, it makes it very easy and straightforward. So I've really been enjoying it, and it's a way for me to express myself. I would say that 99.9% of the feedback that I get is positive. It's overwhelming actually how great people are in the comments and in the emails I get. Once in a blue moon, I'll get a negative comment, but what I've learned is that hurt people. And by that I mean that folks who've had difficult lives, who struggled with the things that have happened in their life and haven't been able to come to terms with that hurt and pain, often end up projecting that onto others. So I don't ever take it personally. I mainly just feel sad for those folks because they haven't figured out how to process their emotions and feelings, and so they're just blasting it out onto others. And it can be a bit contagious and nasty, but to me, I just feel bad for them. And I hope they can get help and figure it out for themselves, you know? I'm a very visual person. I like to control the aesthetics of the things that I create. And I personally didn't see the opportunity to be an entertainer and performer when I was growing up. And so doing commercial art, graphic design, and web design seemed like a natural extension of my creativity, but a way that I could make money. And so that's why I went into that field. But the way it affects what I do in terms of my social media content is, well, I'm very much interested in what the video itself looks like. I mean, look at the way I'm dressed. It's all black with a black background. I'm controlling the visual aesthetics of what I do. So I bring my eye for design into the content that I create as well. I think it's two things. A, it has to be true to oneself. So it has to feel honest and genuine to me. But it also has to have value for the audience. Because if I do it all just about myself, it's self-gratifying, but it doesn't mean that the audience is going to get anything out of it. If I'm going to take the time to view someone's content, I need to get something out of it. So vice versa, when I make content to put out there, others need to get something from what I offer. So it's an exchange between two people. I'm putting it out there with the hopes that you get something from it, and I also get to express myself. My main advice to people who want to do creative things, especially on social media, is to A, pursue it, try it, experiment with it, but then also decide why they're doing it. Which is, if it's all about self-expression, I think it would be best to do it as a hobby. If you want to do it as a business, understand that there's going to be a tension between what you put out there and what's going to work in terms of getting an audience. Like I said earlier, the audience needs to get something out of it. So as great as it is to express one's creativity, the key is that there also needs to be an audience for it. And so my suggestion is try it, be creative, experiment, and it's also okay to not do it. Like, it's okay to just do something for one's own self-gratification. It doesn't always have to be for money. We live in a world where the two are often tied together, or there's an attempt to tie the two together, and that can sometimes create an inherent conflict. So try it, experiment, be creative, but it's also okay to not do it for any other reasons than personal satisfaction and for yourself, and then don't put it out there. But mainly my main suggestion is trust your heart, trust the process. Anything in life is always going to be harder than it seems up front, but if there's that drive there to keep going, then keep going and do it, and something will come of it. Like, it took me 5-6 years of doing this and having absolutely no audience until eventually I started to get a little bit of a trickle, and it's grown since then. So it requires real dedication. I appreciate you giving me the time to tell my story. Thank you so much.